Ankylotic, ankylotic.
Arthritis, arthritis.
Articular, articular. Brachium, brachium. Cervical, cervical. Chondral, chondral. Intercostal, intercostal. Cranial, cranial. Dactylomegaly, dactylomegaly. Fasciotosis, fasciotosis. Femoral, femoral. Fibrous, fibrous. Kyphosis, kyphosis. Leiomyoma, leiomyoma. Lordosis, lordosis. Lumbar, lumbar.
Myositis, myositis. Myalgia, myalgia.
Myelitis, myelitis.
Myositis, myositis. Osteomyelitis, osteomyelitis.
Patellar, patellar. Pelvimeter, pelvimeter. Radial, radial.
Rhabdomyoma, rhabdomyoma. Sarcoma, sarcoma. Scoliosis, scoliosis.
Spondylitis, spondylitis. Sternocostal, sternocostal. Tenodesis, tenodesis. Tendolysis, tendolysis.
Tendinitis, tendinitis.
Thoracic, thoracic. Myotonia, myotonia. Ulnar, ulnar.
Vertebral, vertebral. Appendicular skeleton, appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton, axial skeleton. Bone, bone. Compact bone, compact bone. Spongy bone, spongy bone. Cancellous bone, cancellous bone. Long bones, long bones. Short bones, short bones. Flat bones, flat bones. Irregular bones, irregular bones. Sesamoid bones, sesamoid bones. Epiphysis, epiphysis. Diaphysis, diaphysis. Metaphysis, metaphysis. Endosteum, endosteum. Medullary cavity, medullary cavity. Bone marrow, bone marrow. Red bone marrow, red bone marrow. Yellow bone marrow, yellow bone marrow. Periosteum, periosteum. Articular cartilage, articular cartilage. Articulation, articulation. Joint, joint. Bursa, bursa. Intervertebral disc, intervertebral disc. Annulus fibrosus, annulus fibrosus, nucleus pulposus, nucleus pulposus, ligament, ligament, joint capsule, joint capsule, synovial membrane, synovial membrane, synovial fluid, synovial fluid, muscle, muscle, striated muscle, striated muscle, skeletal muscle, skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, cardiac muscle, origin of a muscle, origin of a muscle, insertion of a muscle, insertion of a muscle, tendon, tendon, fascia, fascia, anatomic position, anatomic position, anatomical position, anatomical position, body planes, body planes, frontal plane, frontal plane, coronal plane, coronal plane, sagittal plane, sagittal plane, transverse plane, transverse plane, anterior, anterior, ventral, ventral, posterior, posterior, dorsal, dorsal, anterior posterior, anterior posterior, posterior anterior, posterior anterior, superior, superior, cephalic, cephalic, inferior, inferior, caudal, caudal, proximal, proximal, distal, distal, medial, medial, lateral, lateral, axis, axis, erect, erect, decubitus, decubitus, prone, prone, recumbent, recumbent, supine, supine, flexion, flexion, extension, extension, abduction, abduction, adduction, adduction, rotation, rotation, eversion, eversion, inversion, inversion, pronation, pronation, supination, supination, dorsiflexion, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, plantar flexion, range of motion, range of motion, goniometer, goniometer, arthralgia, arthralgia, atrophy, atrophy, crepitation, crepitation, crepitus, crepitus, exhaustosis, exhaustosis, flaccid, flaccid, hypertrophy, hypertrophy, hypotonia, hypotonia, myalgia, myalgia, myodenia, myodenia, ostealgia, ostealgia, osteodenia, osteodenia, rigor, rigor, rigidity, rigidity, spasm, spasm, spastic, spastic, tetany, tetany, tremor, tremor, ankylosis, ankylosis, arthritis, arthritis, osteoarthritis, osteoarthritis, degenerative arthritis, degenerative arthritis, degenerative joint disease, degenerative joint disease, rheumatoid arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gouty arthritis, gouty arthritis, bony necrosis, bony necrosis, sequestrum, sequestrum, bunion, bunion, bursitis, bursitis, chondromalacia, chondromalacia, epiphysitis, epiphysitis, fracture, fracture, closed fracture, closed fracture, open fracture, open fracture, complex fracture, complex fracture, fracture line, fracture line, comminuted fracture, comminuted fracture, spiral fracture, spiral fracture,
transverse fracture, transverse fracture,
green stick fracture, green stick fracture, herniated disc, herniated disc, myeloma, myeloma,
myositis, myositis,
myoma, myoma, leiomyoma, leiomyoma, leiomyosarcoma, leiomyosarcoma, rhabdomyoma, rhabdomyoma, rhabdomyosarcoma, rhabdomyosarcoma, muscular dystrophy, muscular dystrophy, osteoma, osteoma, osteosarcoma, osteosarcoma, osteomalacia, osteomalacia, rickets, rickets, osteomyelitis, osteomyelitis, osteoporosis, osteoporosis, spinal curvatures, spinal curvatures, kyphosis, kyphosis, lordosis, lordosis, scoliosis, scoliosis,
spondylolisthesis, spondylolisthesis, spondylosis, spondylosis,
sprain, sprain,
subluxation, subluxation, tendinitis, 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 tendinitis,
electromyogram, electromyogram, magnetic resonance imaging, magnetic resonance imaging, nuclear medicine imaging, nuclear medicine imaging, radionuclide organ imaging, radionuclide organ imaging, bone scan, bone scan, radiography, radiography, arthrogram, arthrogram, computed tomography, computed tomography, computed axial tomography, computed axial tomography, sonography, sonography, amputation, amputation, arthrocentesis, arthrocentesis, arthrodesis, arthrodesis,
arthroplasty, arthroplasty,
arthroscopy, arthroscopy, bone grafting, bone grafting, bursectomy, bursectomy, myoplasty, myoplasty, open reduction, internal fixation of a fracture, open reduction, internal fixation of a fracture, osteoplasty, osteoplasty, osteotomy, osteotomy, spondylocentesis, spondylocentesis, tenotomy, tenotomy,
close reduction, external fixation of a fracture, close reduction, external fixation of a fracture,
casting, casting, splinting, splinting, traction, traction, close reduction, percutaneous fixation of a fracture, close reduction, percutaneous fixation of a fracture, orthosis, orthosis, physical therapy, physical therapy, prosthesis, prosthesis,
analgesic, analgesic,
narcotic, narcotic, anti-inflammatory, anti-inflammatory,
antipyretic, antipyretic, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug,